The night the moon turned crimson, every wolf in the kingdom fell to their knees. Except her. Elara stood alone on the balcony of the Frostvale Castle, the icy wind clawing at her skin, as if even nature wanted to remind her she didn't belong. Below her, the pack howled in ritual reverence, voices rising like a tidal wave of loyalty for the man who commanded them all, the Alpha King. Her husband, her mate. A man who had not touched her in 7 long years. No takis. Not an embrace, not even a brush of fingers. 7 years of sleeping beside a man who treated her like a political obligation instead of a soulmate. 7 years of pretending she didn't hear the palace guards whisper, "She's the unwanted queen." He only chose her because the moon priestess forced the bond. The Alpha King deserves a warrior queen, not her. 7 years of staring at the broad back of King Kael Draven as he slept inches away but galaxies apart. Tonight, though, something was different. The crimson moon always foretold change, blessing for some, catastrophe for others. Elara didn't know which she was destined for. Elara. His voice cut through the wind like a blade. She froze. King Kael never sought her out. Not on nights like this. Not ever. When she turned, she found him standing in the golden doorway, shadows dancing across his chiseled jaw and battle-scarred arms. His presence filled the air like a tempest, impossibly strong, impossibly cold. But tonight, his eyes weren't cold. They were burning. Her heart stuttered. Not once in 7 years had he spoken her name with such intensity. "What is it, Your Majesty?" she whispered. A muscle in his jaw twitched. "Don't call me that. You prefer distance," she reminded softly. "Formality," his throat bobbed. "Not tonight." Elara grasped the railing, steadying herself. Something was wrong. His aura, usually calm, unreadable, now pulsed with urgency. With a heat she had never felt directed at her, she forced her voice calm. "Is it the council? Another border attack?" "No," he said. "It's us." Her breath caught. Us. A word she had secretly prayed for once. A lifetime ago. Before her hope turned fragile and thin. He stepped closer, and the raw emotion in his eyes startled her. "Elara, for 7 years I've denied the bond." His voice trembled, just slightly. "I thought I was protecting you." She blinked, stunned. "Protecting me? From what?" "From me." He swallowed hard. "From what I become when the bond wakes." She didn't understand, but she felt the truth in his voice, something heavy, something haunted. "Kael," she whispered, using his name for the first time in years. "You're scaring me." His eyes darkened at the sound of his name on her lips. "Elara, I need you to hear this before the crimson moon marks its claimant." She flinched. The claiming moon. The night when true mates became bound in body, spirit, and fate. But they had never claimed each other, because he never allowed it. "Elara," he said, voice cracking, "I can't hold myself back anymore. The moon, your scent, it's driving me mad." Her heart pounded painfully. He took another step. "For 7 years I've stayed away to keep you safe. I thought I could suppress the mating pull. I thought I could control it." His voice dropped. "But tonight, I can't." The wind died. The world stilled. She struggled to breathe. Why now? His chest rose and fell, heavy with emotion. "Because you're dying." Her blood ran cold. "What?" "The healers confirmed it today." His voice broke with guilt. "The unconsummated bond is poisoning you. Your body can't sustain the rejection any longer." She closed her eyes as a wave of dizziness hit. So that was the constant fainting. The cold sweats. The stabbing pains she hid for months. Kael continued, guilt dripping from every word. "Your heart is weakening. Your wolf is fading, and it's because of me." Elara grabbed the railing to stay upright. "I didn't know," she whispered. "I did." His voice trembled. "The moon priestess warned me the night of our wedding. She said if I didn't claim you, your soul would suffer, that the bond can't stay half-formed." Tears stung her eyes. "Then why didn't you?" "Because I thought you deserved better," he roared, then stopped, breath shuddering. "You were soft, gentle, nothing like the warrior queen the kingdom expected. I feared I'd destroy you." She shook her head, voice breaking. "And instead, you destroyed us." He closed the distance between them, his breath warm against her forehead. "Elara, I am begging you." Her heart stopped. "Begging?" "The Alpha King didn't beg. Let me claim you," he whispered. "Let me save your life." She trembled like a leaf in a storm. "Kael," she breathed. "You can't just change after 7 years." He cupped her face, hesitant, trembling, and she gasped at the warmth she'd never felt before. "I know," he whispered. But tonight I saw your soul flicker, I felt your wolf cry out, and I realized I will burn the world before I lose you. Hiapulsa hamal. Elara, he said softly, just say the word, and I will make you mine. The wind rose. The crimson moon pulsed, and she felt the bond inside her ignite, wild, powerful, desperate. But her heart was shattered. Kael, she whispered, stepping back. You cannot fix 7 years of silence in one night. His face fell. Elara, you want to claim me because you fear losing me, not because you love me. His eyes darkened with a pain she had never seen in him. Elara, he breathed. You have no idea how wrong you are. Her breath caught, but before he could say more, a deafening horn blasted from the north wall. Kael spun, eyes flashing wolf gold. Enemy incursion, a guard shouted. Alpha King, the Bloodfang clan has broken through. Kael growled, the air crackling with fury. He turned back to her, voice urgent. This isn't over. Then he shifted, bones cracking, fur bursting, a massive black wolf taking his place, and leaped off the balcony into battle. Elara sank to her knees, tears spilling as the claiming moon burned overhead. For the first time in 7 years, Kael wanted her, but now the kingdom was under attack. The enemy outside, or the bond inside her. The night Elena Stormborn turned 18, the moon hid behind thick clouds as if even the heavens refused to witness what was about to happen. The sky churned restlessly above Blackridge Fortress, a towering stone citadel carved into the side of the northern mountains, home to the most feared ruler in the Lycian kingdom. Alpha King Kael Varen, the Wolf of the North, the unchallenged king, the warrior born under the blood moon and destined to command armies with a single roar. And on that trembling night, he walked through the fortress gates with soldiers trailing behind him, armor drenched in the blood of victory. The noise of celebration echoed through the kingdom, wolves howling, drums thundering, loyal subjects chanting his name. But inside the grand throne hall, where torches flickered like dying stars, there was only silence and a trembling girl waiting for her fate. Elena stood before the throne wearing the ceremonial silver gown, the elders forced upon her, its fabric too cold and too heavy for her shaking bones. She never wanted this moment, not like this. She had long ago accepted that she was ordinary, the daughter of a fallen warrior, small and soft-spoken, the kind of girl people overlooked in banquet halls and training grounds. She was not a fighter, not a strategist, not someone who could stand beside a king meant to conquer the world. Yet, by an ancient decree, the moon goddess had paired her with Kael. Varen marked her as his fated mate. It was destiny, they said. A blessing, they said. But now, watching the doors swing open as Kael entered, Elena saw nothing blessed in the eyes of her mate. He didn't look at her with affection, not with recognition, not even with curiosity. His expression was a carved blade, sharp, unforgiving, unwilling. His jaw tightened the moment his gaze met hers, as though the bond itself was a chain he wanted to snap. Soldiers bowed deeply. Elders stepped aside. Everyone dropped to their knees in awe of the king's presence, except Elena, who stood frozen, heart thundering painfully. She expected him to take her hand. She expected him to claim her before the court. She expected him to acknowledge the sacred bond the moon goddess placed between their souls. But Kael walked past her, without a glance, without a word, without a touch. He ascended the throne, sat with chilling authority, and addressed the court. The kingdom stands victorious. Prepare the feast. Everyone cheered. The room erupted with pride and loyalty. But Elena's world cracked. This man, her mate, was rejecting her in the most public, humiliating way possible. And it was only the beginning. That night, the elders escorted her to the lunar chamber, the sacred space where mates consummated the bond under moonlight, to seal the unity between their wolves. The chamber was prepared with glowing candles, warm furs, and moonstone crystals, but it felt like a prison. Elena waited. Hours passed. Her hands shook. No footsteps came. No knock on the door. No husband. Kael never entered the room. He never completed the bond. He never touched her. Word spread like wildfire across the kingdom. Whispers floated through hallways, across training grounds, into markets and taverns. The king rejected his fated mate. The bond is broken. She must be unworthy. She must be cursed. Elena bore every whisper like a stab to the chest. But even worse was the truth she hid deep inside her heart. It wasn't rejection she feared most, it was hope, a fragile, foolish hope that one day he would look at her and see more than a mistake fate forced upon him. Days turned to months. Months turned into the first bitter year. Kael never shared a bed with her, never stood beside her during ceremonies, never allowed her to sit beside him at feasts. She lived in the east wing of the fortress, a queen only by title, forgotten in cold hallways and silent rooms. The kingdom respected Kael too much to question him. His council obeyed him too loyally to intervene. And Elena endured quietly, because she believed that one day her mate might heal from whatever wound made him push her away. But Kael was not wounded. He was haunted. He carried scars deeper than the flesh, wounds carved into his soul from a tragedy that twisted his fate long before Elena came into his life. Once, the kingdom whispered legends of the fierce bond Kael shared with another, a chosen mate, not a fated one. A girl named Liana, a visionary, a warrior, the only person who ever made the king smile, and the only person whose death shattered him. Some said she was poisoned by traitors. Others whispered she died protecting the kingdom, but everyone agreed on one thing. Kael buried his heart with her. After Liana's death, Kael swore he would never love again, never bond again, never let destiny control him. So when the moon goddess chose Elena, he saw betrayal, not blessing. 7 long years passed, 7 years of silence, coldness, distance. 7 years of being a queen in name but a ghost in his eyes. Yet Elena never complained. She buried herself in work, helping the healers, aiding the villages, comforting orphaned wolves, and slowly earning the love of the people. The kingdom came to cherish her even if the king never did. She smiled with kindness, spoke gently, and carried compassion into every corner of the land. But every night, when she returned to her lonely room, she asked the same question. Why did fate choose me for a man who never wanted me? On the 7th anniversary of their unconsummated union, the kingdom prepared for the annual moon festival, a celebration of renewal and blessings. Elena stood at her balcony that evening, watching lanterns float into the sky like drifting souls, when she felt a sharp, burning sensation across her chest. She gasped, clutching the place where the mate bond always rested like a dormant flame. The burning grew. Her knees buckled, her breath shattered. Far across the fortress, Kael felt it too. He rose from his war chamber, hand pressed against his heart, shock flooding his eyes. For 7 years, the bond had been silent, dormant. But now, it was awakening, roaring to life with a force that nearly brought him to his knees. Something was happening, something he could no longer ignore, something he feared, something he needed. Kael stormed out of the chamber, driven by instinct older than time itself. His wolf clawed inside him, desperate, wild, snarling with a single word, mate. He ran through corridors, past startled guards, past servants and soldiers. Lantern lights blurred, footsteps thundered. The bond tugged at him, pulling him toward the east wing. For 7 years, he avoided her. Tonight, he was losing the ability to stay away. Elena collapsed onto the floor of her dimly lit room, breath stuttering as the bond seared through her chest. Tears blurred her vision. She didn't know what was happening, only that it felt like the moon goddess herself was shaking the threads of fate awake. The door burst open, and for the first time in 7 years, the Alpha King stood at the threshold of her room, eyes wide, chest heaving, pupils dilated with something terrifying and raw. Elena, he whispered. Her name on his lips after 7 years. Elena stared up at him through shimmering tears, unable to speak. Kael stepped inside, closing the door behind him. His voice came out hoarse, cracked open by something he couldn't control. I can't stay away from you anymore. Her heart broke, not because he came, but because he came too late.